club hearing, I don't know, the Pet Shop Boys doing American Pie, for example. So it seemed to me like perfectly normal.
Because she wasn't too keen, was you? And then you persuaded her to do it.
She doesn't like that type of music very much, but it, you know, it came out really well. I could never imagine how it couldn't come out really well, to be honest. And she sings it beautifully, and it relates a lot to her, in one sense. You know, when she sings, I knew if I had the chance, I could make the people dance. You know, that's the kind of frisson that I like in, you know, for me, if I didn't know her, to hear Madonna covering that song, it would make me all goosebumpy. And, you know, singing about Catholicism and the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, you know, there are great lyrics in that record, and she chose the ones that were very applicable to her, and it was exciting to be involved with.
The Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, they caught the last train for the coast today. The music died.
Coming up in part 2 of the show, we'll be taking a look back at Madonna's legendary music career and her earlier attempts, some successful, some not so much, to become a movie star. Sponsored by...
And now, with her solid gold hit, Holiday, Madonna.
Few people watching this American TV appearance back in 1983 could have predicted that the singer in front of them would become the most powerful woman in the music industry. She would sell over 100 million records, own her own record label, and help set trends and fashions over the next 2 decades.
I started studying dance when I was about 12. Lots of performances in front of my mirror, singing into my hairbrush. I always performed in school shows, musical theater, and, you know, any excuse to get on stage. I mean, I didn't really have a specific expectation. I thought it was just going to be fun. Being famous comes with a lot of responsibility and comes with a lot of baggage and pressure. There's nothing easy about it, actually.
As hit followed hit, so Madonna's influence on fans and fashion became evident. And what also became clear was that she had a remarkable ability to successfully change her image. Whenever you've updated or changed your image, have you always been 100% confident that that change would be a hit, would work? Or have you ever sort of doubted what you're going to do next?
No, but I mean, when you say change your image, for me it's just about, oh, I'm sick of my hair this color, I'm going to dye my hair, or, you know, about keeping up with the latest fashions, you know. It's not so premeditated. I don't go, oh, I'm going to look like a cowgirl, and I wonder, will cowgirls be fashionable this year? I mean, I don't think that way. I think people give me too much credit for kind of orchestrating all of that stuff.
Do you get sort of fed up then, the way people sort of analyse what you've done next? And does that get a bit much after a while?
I am bored of the word reinvention, definitely.
I won't use it then.
Okay.
As Madonna's fame grew, so came the inevitable movie offers. Her first mainstream film role was as a vampish nightclub singer in the largely forgotten 1984 release, Vision Quest. The film itself might have been a flop, but it did bring about chart success. Crazy for You even achieved the distinction of knocking the charity single We Are the World off the top of the US charts. In 1985, though, Madonna achieved the cinematic success she was craving. Desperately Seeking Susan was supposed to confirm Rosanna Arquette's star status, but she ended up having the movie stolen from under her nose when Madonna attracted the vast majority of available publicity. The film became the 5th highest-grossing film of 1985. Get Into the Groove, which was taken from the movie, was also a worldwide smash. Madonna, the film star, had arrived.
Into the groove.
camera, I believe, picks up every little thing, so I think the key word is subtlety. In terms of acting, I think you have to pull everything down and be much more natural and much more real, whereas when you're on stage, everything's over the top, because you have to project and get over.
When Madonna's next movie project came up 2 years later, she began to discover that for all her success in the pop charts, long-term acting credibility would be harder to achieve. Who's That Girl was universally panned and flopped at the box office, although as if to demonstrate that she hadn't lost her musical touch, the single taken from the film was an international #1. Madonna's never been one to take much notice of the critics, and her decision in 1990 to team up with Warren Beatty and Dick Tracy had many sharpening their knives. Some dismissed the subsequent affair between Madonna and her co-star as, perish the thought, hype for the film. Anyhow, the critics hated it, and audiences loved it, and Dick Tracy took over $100 million at box offices across the world.
You almost pulled it off. I said he would have been yours.
Yeah, you were my only mistake. Tell me the truth. Could it ever have happened between us?
When you look back at your film career to date, I was reading that you consider roughly half of your films you made to be very good, the other half not quite so
Crap.
good. I mean, do you ever regret making some of those films?
Sure, I wish I never made them, but I mean, what are you going to do? I did them already, they're done.
I mean, was it not part of a big learning curve? I mean,
Yeah, but all mistakes are part of learning curve, and you have to love your mistakes as well. Yeah.
Is there one particular one which you really would never want to watch again?
Yeah, but I'm not telling you what it is. Sorry.
Body of Evidence, her 1993 release, would probably get many people's vote. Teaming up with Willem Dafoe, Madonna played a femme fatale charged with fornicating a man to death. The supposed showcase for Madonna's acting talents was generally regarded as being more silly than erotic, and audiences by and large agreed. It also demonstrated clearly that when you have a high-profile singer starring in a film, problems arise.
When I make my own records, I'm kind of like the director, because it's my vision. In film, it's a director's medium, so it's a much more submissive role, creatively.
There was one film role, though, which many felt Madonna was born to play. Co-starring Jonathan Pryce and Antonio Banderas, Evita proved to be the commercial and critical success which Madonna had longed for.
Don't cry for me, Argentina. The truth is I never left you. All through my wild days, my mad existence, I kept my promise. Don't keep your distance.
When Evita was such a success, and a critical success as well, did that sort of, in your mind, sort of vindicate, if you like, and was that a kind of really important stage in your acting career?
Well, it was important to finally work with great material and a great cast and a great director, with a part that was great for me, and I didn't always have all those elements when I was working. And yeah, that was like a watershed moment for me on many levels. Yes, important.
So what happens now? Suitcase in another
what happens now?
Take your picture of another wall. Where am I going
You'll get by, you always have before.
Where am I going to?
The desire amongst pop stars to become film stars is nothing new. Performers from Elvis to the All Saints have tried it with varying degrees of success. And as her latest film is released in the UK, Madonna will inevitably face criticism amongst those who think pop stars should stick to what they know best.
People in America certainly were pretty harsh on her, and I think that was unfair. It makes it different for her because, you know, she has in one medium, she is known to be such a stick of dynamite that when she's seen in another medium, people expect to see the same stick of dynamite, you know, igniting in all those fantastic colors. So I think in one sense, what was unlucky for her is that the studio very much toned her role down. And so good acting is really about good writing, a good role. If you get a good role, you can be a bad actor and you'll look great in it. If you've got a role that isn't that good, no matter what you do, you'll never manage to make that much of an impression. And sometimes the studios are very cautious about, you know, the woman's role, portraying womanhood in the right way. And some of her scenes were made more normal and less eccentric and strange.
Do you think that she will always have this problem, though, in terms of expectation and in terms of scripts being right for her and things like that in future film projects?
I don't know. Film career is also partly a matter of luck. What is about at the time that you want to make a film, or that you're hot, or that you know, it depends a lot on the material. You know, I think she has to always find material that's more extraordinary than another actress would have to find, and that's a difficult burden.
I can't be a husband.
You just have to be a father. And a friend.
Do you find that when you look at the combination of your music and acting career together, does one give you more satisfaction? Has it always been music predominantly, which you've got more?
Yeah, well, I've done more music than I have done films, and I've done it more. I'm better at it. I'm more confident about doing it. I'd like to do more films, but you know, with music, I can just go, I want to make a record, and I start writing, and it just comes. When it comes to movies, you know, I've got to wait, because I'm not a director. I have to wait for the right script to come along, and then I have to hope and pray that the director wants to work with me. It's much more difficult.
What did Guy think of the film?
He loved it.
Would you ever want to be directed by him?
I'm directed by him every day.
You've talked a lot about your love affair with England and London in particular. I mean, do you things like going to pubs and stuff like that, and have you got a favourite pub, or have you got favourite places where you hang out?
Well, I just want to point out that I only did one interview where I talked about going to pubs, and somehow it's turned into 50 interviews that I supposedly did exclusively for several publications. You know, and I do go to pubs sometimes, but I don't want to say where, because then they won't be my pubs, will they?
Can you down a pint yet?
I can't down it quickly now. I'm still at somewhere between sipping and gulping stage.
So am I. And was that Guinness or lager or beer?
Guinness.
Guinness. That's
Yeah.
very impressive.
It's very good for you.
Yeah, thank you very much indeed. It's been very good to meet you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, that's all for our special look at Madonna and the next best thing. Well, I hope you've enjoyed the show, and don't forget to join me next week when we talk to the creators of Chicken Run. And Cleopatra will be coming on the show once again. See you next week. But just in case you want more information on the programme, don't forget you can click onto our website, www.sky.com/showbizweekly. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Reality.